Unfortunately, this trope can easily backfire, sometimes because the character's actions are disproportionate to the original wrong. She lost one friend to a Cutie Mark, and so, all Cutie Marks must pay.
Hey, wait a minute, that's not what... Guinevere's oversized bosom, that's it! That's why nobody likes it! That's why I'm the only one who does! That's why I haven't been able to make a convincing case! I get it! I finally get it! I finally understand!
I win. Where's my $20?
Poor bastard just started his own ship.
Oh yeah, I'm trigger happy. Yes, I'm trigger happy. Better watch out, punk, or I'm gonna have to blow you away.
Hello everyone, and welcome to What Do I Know, the show where I don't know how this little detail has literally been staring at me in the face for 2 years without me catching on. If you take a glance at a lot of my early work, you'll notice that I spend a lot of time defending Starlight's role in My Little Pony, both as a villain and as a protagonist. But the more I look back on a lot of my previous arguments, the more I realize that the ones surrounding her backstory and reformation are rather clumsy and not very well thought out. Yet I still hold to my opinion that her reformation and backstory are really good. For the longest time, I thought it was just a difference of opinion, and it kind of was, but then Silver Quill released his review of the Cutie Remark, and then he made that remark, about how Starlight's motives boil down to all Cutie Marks must pay. That's when I realized that it wasn't just a difference of opinion, it was a fundamentally different interpretation of Starlight's motive, and at the risk of coming across as arrogant, I think that my interpretation of Starlight's motive is significantly more accurate than everyone else's. But first, let's go over the backstory one more time. In a small town known as Sire's Hollow, two little fillies, Starlight Glimmer and Sunburst, get along with one another so well that they are rarely, if ever, seen apart. Then one day, Sunburst stops a pile of books from falling on his best friend, and in the process gains his Cutie Mark. Excited, he runs outside, past Starlight, to show off his Cutie Mark to all the grown-ups. Immediately, he is sent off to Celestia School for Gifted Unicorns without ever getting a chance to say goodbye to his friend. Falling under the impression that her friend no longer wanted her because his Cutie Mark made him feel superior to her, she goes on to establish a community of her own, completely devoid of Cutie Marks, where nobody could feel superior to one another ever again. And this is where I think the misunderstanding of Starlight's motives comes into play. The impression of most of Starlight's detractors with this backstory seems to be that Starlight was out for revenge against Cutie Marks in general. To be fair, I'm fairly certain that I fell under this misconception myself to some extent, but the thing is, Starlight was never out for revenge against Cutie Marks. Listen to how she describes her village when she's monologuing to Twilight.
My village was a sanctuary of equality where no pony's Cutie Mark allowed them to feel superior.
Starlight's motive for removing an entire town's Cutie Marks had nothing to do with her personal vendetta. She hated Cutie Marks, I'm not arguing otherwise, but she took the Cutie Marks because she believed it would make their lives better, not because she wanted revenge. In Starlight's mind, Sunburst believed that he was better than her, hence she came away from that event with the belief that Cutie Marks allow others to feel superior to one another, which leads to the superior one abandoning the other. She did it because she believed that taking their Cutie Marks would mean that they would be incapable of experiencing that sense of betrayal and abandonment. Everyone would be better off because they wouldn't have to face that same sense of rejection that she did. It's not a vengeful motive, it's misguided altruism.
What a twist!
And you could argue that the show does little to help convey this idea, since so many people mistook her motives to be a one-pony war on Cutie Marks, but you would be dead wrong. Starlight's dialogue during the Cutie Map practically screams this interpretation of her actions.
Have you considered perhaps that you might have been sent here so we could help you? When the rest of Equestria sees that a princess gave up her Cutie Mark to join us, they'll finally understand what we're trying to accomplish. We hope someday every pony in Equestria will make a pilgrimage here to our little village, and we'll teach you just how much better life can be without your Cutie Marks. And no thought to the pain you'd cause your friends. Such selfishness. You'd all still be living your miserable lives thinking you're better than every pony else. I brought you friendship. I brought you equality. I created harmony! I gave these ponies real friendships they never could have had otherwise.
Now, you would think that this is simply Starlight's cover, a lie that she told the village in order to hide her true motives. But even after she was found out, she continued with the narrative that what she was doing was ultimately for the greater good.
Shut it!
If it was a lie, why would she bother continuing the facade after she was found out? Moreover, why would she continue with the facade during the events of the Cutie Remark? Starlight never lied to the village, she simply told them what she thought was true. Now, I'm not so arrogant as to think that this new way of looking at Starlight's backstory and motivation is going to change anyone's take on her role as a villain, but I'd argue that it makes a massive difference. Her actions go from being a dramatic overreaction to a misguided attempt to make the world a better place. Her actions seem far more understandable, if not reasonable, in this context. And it's this misguided attempt to make the world better that makes Starlight my favorite villain. Every other villain in the show has only been out for themselves. Nightmare Moon, Discord, Chrysalis, Sombra, Tirek. Hell, even Wallflower, as relatable as she was, only went after Sunset because of her desire for revenge for a perceived injustice. But Starlight's the only one who acted out of a desire to help people, which is my favorite type of villain. Not one who only wants what's best for them, but one who wants to help others, albeit through erroneous means. And that is ultimately the most important message in Starlight's story, that thinking you're being helpful and actually being helpful are two entirely different things. But hey, all I'm doing is making highly opinionated videos on YouTube, and I doubt those are helping anyone, so what do I know? I'm Officer Trigger Happy, and Officer Trigger Happy, you are under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Whoa, wait a minute. Arrest? What are you talking about? On what charge? Sexual assault. So what now? You kissed Epic Fable without his consent. I did? Will you at least give me some mouthwash?
We're done, yeah.